for joining me for today's day 4 journal spread for December daily, and I'm using Brie's Create December prompts. So today's prompt was the word cozy, and I start off by fussy cutting this doily that was a digital download from Johanna Klau. I think that's the correct pronunciation of her name, I'm not sure. Because the first thing I thought of when I thought of the word cozy was drinking hot tea and having like a nice, like a nice tea with cake, and so a doily worked very well. So that was my plan of what to do with this spread, and as you might have noticed from the initial pictures at the beginning, it totally turned into something else. It developed a life of its own, which I think is great because I'm surprised just as much as you are to see the outcome at the end. So I have at this point decided to choose another patterned paper to make a pocket for the left side of the page. So I am cutting that down, and then I'm going to take my scoreboard. You don't need to use a scoreboard for this. I just happen to have it, so I'm using it because I have it, but obviously you don't need it. So I'm scoring all 4 edges. I'm not measuring anything, so I cannot tell you measurements. Then I'm just cutting the corners, and then I'm folding all the edges down. And you might be wondering, why am I folding all 4 edges? Because actually you only need 3 to glue it down. But the 4th one I'm gluing down on itself because I wanted it to be sturdier because the paper wasn't very thick. So I just wanted to have a bit more thickness at the top where you would slide something in so that it doesn't tear so quickly. So now I'm just inking the edges, and I thought I was gonna glue it down at this point, but before gluing it down I realized that the background is way too blank. So I decided to wait with that for a second and first glue down some book pages as a background. So I'm choosing 2 different languages. So I have English and German, and I have 3 different fonts, which I think adds a lot of interest, and it's a reflection of my life basically. Okay, so now I'm ready to glue down that pocket, and I'm applying glue again. So now I'm putting it down, and then I wanted to decorate that pocket. So I'm using this really cute stamp from Unique, which I got at a local trade fair, but I'm sure you can find those online, so you can just pause the video and check out the name and try to find that online. So it's this wonderful wreath that I am stamping with Ranger Distress ink in, what was it, Forest Moss is the color. And so now I'm stamping it down really well. And the next thing I'm doing is I am using my water brush, and I'm just going over it, over all the leafy parts, because that way they will turn green, because distress ink is not waterproof. So that's the beauty of it. And then I am using the ink, so I'm just smearing it onto a plastic card, so I can darken up some areas to give it more depth. Next, I'm taking my watercolors and using the red for the bow, and then some of these berries I'm going to make pink. And lastly, the tiny berries I am making blue, just because I wouldn't normally make them blue, but I wanted it to match with the doily on the right side of the page, which also had some blue in it, so that's why I chose blue. So next I fussy cut that out. I'm just inking the edges because I don't like the white edges showing through, and I decide to glue that down. So next I wasn't really sure what to do. I tried sticking that doily in there like a tag, but it wouldn't fit, so that wasn't gonna work. And I try out some different papers and then decide to go with this cute bird one. So I just cut off the white edge on the top. I use my corner rounder so that it looks more like a tag, and I'm I am inking the edges. And next I decide to use this gift wrapper stamp, which was in my last AliExpress haul. You can find the link there. And first I wanted to stamp it on the tag directly, but then I thought it would come out better if I do stamp it on a white background and then stick that onto the tag. So that is what I did. Stamped it there. Fussy cut yet again. There was a lot of fussy cutting in this spread, which is why it took me quite a long time again to make this. But it's all worth it in the end. You can see, if you put an effort into a spread, you can totally see it, I believe. So now I'm taking some foam tape because I wanted to elevate it a little bit from the tag. And I really like that. It kind of looks like a present. And I still don't know what to do with this doily on the right side. So I am stalling by going around or making outlines of these berries and the bow, just because I don't know what else to do right now. So next I decide to stamp the date, and these stamps you will see in my upcoming AliExpress haul, which I have not filmed yet but will hopefully film soon. So now I'm just stamping down the 4. And then of course I also wanted to include, first I tear some more some music paper because I didn't like that the part in the middle of the page, so I wanted to cover that up with some music paper. And so I wanted to add the word for today's spread, which is of course is the cozy. And rather than stamping it directly on the tag, I decided to stamp it on that same pattern paper out of which the pocket is made as well. And then I tear around that rather than cutting it because I do prefer that look. And then of course I have to ink the edges again. And then I just glue that down. Now I ink the back side because I've decided to write on the back side of that tag. And at this point I actually put away that doily because then I finally made the decision I'm not using it for this spread and I'm only doing a one-sided spread. And now on the back I'm writing a poem that I found online, like a wintry poem, and I'm just sticking it in there. And somehow I didn't film, as you will see now on this picture. I have this lace on the top which I just glued onto the tag so that you can pull it out more easily and just to add some more interest. So thank you so much for watching today. Bye.